welcome to Making Mindfulness Fun. So I'm so excited to share with you this new chakra series where we're talking about signs and symptoms of a blocked chakra. In this video, we're specifically talking about signs and symptoms of a blocked sacral chakra. Now, this is the most blocked chakra in the US, probably in the world at this point right now too, but this is a really important chakra because when you unblock this, you are unleashing your true potential. You are stepping into your personal power, and that is an exciting place to be because, you know, who wants to take a backseat to their own life? I know I don't.
We're so excited to share with you guys some tips on how to unblock your sacral chakra. But first, if this is your first time to our channel, here at Making Mindfulness Fun, we help you on a journey to higher consciousness so you can experience more joy, love, and emotional liberation.
Please, before we get into the video though and tell you all the good chakra information, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and turn on those post notifications because we're putting out a video every single day in this chakra series.
All right, so let's talk about some signs and symptoms. The big one that comes to mind anytime I hear somebody tell me they're having trouble with low libido or infertility or bladder issues, this is usually the number one sign that there's some form of blocked sacral chakra. Now, we don't want to get too far into why it gets blocked, but really your sacral chakra is your place of individuality, creative expression, vulnerability. Well, we live in a world where that gets suppressed a lot, right? That's why we stand for defying the norm, because really when you're following the norm, you're kind of being pushed into a box, into fitting in, into being like everybody else. And that tends to block your sacral chakra. So it's not even so much that you don't have this sense of individuality is why you are having trouble with infertility or low libido, because it definitely can stem from the chakra above or the chakra below. But it also has to do with the fact that sometimes we are so driven, go, 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 right? We have these we're super productive in life, but it's not always productivity that aligns with our sense of self. While we have passions and talents that we love, they don't tend to be the driving force through our day. They tend to be on the back burner. And so subconsciously, which is like 95% of how you move through your day is subconsciously, we're not recognizing that there's more to our sense of self. We're kind of blocking that. And in some ways, as an exaggerated version, we're almost robotic through the movements of our day. Well, can you imagine after a month, after a year, after a decade or more of going through life like that, all of a sudden that chakra there, that energy field, it just starts crystallizing more and more and more. And it definitely starts to affect the organs around it, which are your reproductive organs.
Yeah. And another thing with the chakras, in case you haven't forgotten, hopefully you're already familiar with the chakras, but not only do the chakras affect the physical body, but it also has to do with your emotional and mental body too. So another sign or symptom of a blocked sacral chakra is addictive behaviors. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who struggles with addiction is solely because of their sacral chakra, but they are heavily tied together because the sacral chakra controls our pleasure and how we fulfill that. And so addictive behaviors all stem from a sacral chakra that's a little bit overactive. So if you have trouble managing, maybe you're addicted to maybe coffee or addicted to alcohol, whatever it is, if you have signs that you can't moderate things or you know someone, it's probably because of a blocked sacral chakra.
Yes, and the next one that also to talk about is when you have a blocked sacral chakra, you will often feel general low feelings of self-worth. And I think it's really important to mention that the chakras are supposedly develop in our childhood as we get older. So the root chakra develops in the early years, but the sacral chakra develops right in your teen years. And this is interesting because this is the chakra where we're trying to find that sense of individuality like we discussed. And when you're in that high school age, you really are trying to find that sense of individuality, except the same thing happens that we just discussed in that individuality typically gets shamed. You typically get rejected if you try to express your full sense of individuality. And so if you feel any of that sense of, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not valuable, I'm not worthy, then that's typically a sign that your sacral chakra needs healing. And the way to heal that is to integrate the next symptom of a blocked sacral chakra, which is creativity. If you have very little creativity, then that's a sign that the sacral chakra feels that sense of worthiness. When you feel a sense of worthiness, you can step into your creativity because you're not afraid of truly expressing yourself. And so these two go hand in hand. They can both be symptoms, but you can use one and the other to heal each other.
Yeah, and the other thing we sort of mentioned but didn't really cover is that another sign of a symptom of a blocked sacral chakra is your hips. So not only those internal organs, but your hips as well. So if you have chronic hip problems or hip issues or extremely tight hips, it's because of a sacral chakra.
So let's try some pigeon pose then. So one of our favorite poses, but also most people's least favorite pose when you do yoga is pigeon if you have really tight hips. So you can, do we have a pigeon pose?
We'll be putting that out.
We'll be put in there. But most people know what pigeon pose is. If not, you can look it up. Pigeon pose doesn't have to be a perfect expression of pigeon. In fact, when my husband works with a lot of clients, he makes most of them do what we call an S stretch. And that's like doing a pigeon, but with bent knee, with a softer expression of it. Your back knee's bent a little bit. But pigeon pose is a really good pose. Prop yourself up with blankets. Another one is crisscross folds, like sit with your legs crossed and just fold forward so that you can start to release your hips. And again, as you start to release your hips, repeating mantras like, I am worthy, I'm accepted. Finding people that you can also express this. So if you find that subconscious programming starting to come out and you're saying, I am worthy, I am accepted, but subconsciously you hear the rejection in your head, like, no, I'm not, no, I'm not. Find people to talk to. It's really important because you're totally worth living a joyful, exciting, healthy, vibrant life. So we want to make it so that you find people, find your tribe that supports you in that way.
And if you have symptoms of a blocked sacral chakra, one of the biggest things I personally recommend is that, remember, the sacral chakra controls your creativity and it's your place of your inner child. So something I recommend all people do, because almost everyone has sacral chakra issues, is have a dance party. Yes, I'm serious. This is making mindfulness fun. So we're making your practice fun. This is important. It is mindfulness. We don't dance enough. So by dancing and just taking the time out of your day to practice vulnerable emotional expression and letting loose and letting that inner child out will heal your sacral chakra. And it sounds silly, but I know it to be true, and I've seen this for myself especially. Sometimes I will feel a blocked sacral chakra sometimes, and I'll even see that my hips start to get tighter, and I'll just practice some creative self-expression, and literally, I kid you not, my hips will feel more open afterwards, and it could just be the physical movement, but I guarantee you it's healing your sacral chakra.
Awesome. I have two more for you guys today. So one is to do self-worth affirmations, and we actually have a free video on self-worth affirmations that it has binaural beats incorporated into it to really allow your brain to relax enough to let those affirmations sink into the subconscious brain, because a lot of times our unworthiness is coming from a subconscious place. So you can check that out over on our channel. But the other one to heal your sacral chakra is to engage in flow state regularly and consistently. And you can check out more about how to engage in flow state with the link in bio. But flow state is a level of higher consciousness that we enter when we're in an athletic activity that pushes us to our limit. And this might sound like extreme if you're like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. But you don't have to be an extreme athlete to engage in flow state. Flow state is all about training your mind to be in the right state of mind as coinciding with something that challenges you. And when you're in that place, it allows you to incorporate this sense of not just mental sense of worthiness, but it also integrates into your cells. And your cells will start to expand into this sense of worthiness that really defines a sacral chakra that is opened and balanced.
So I'm going to second all of those and agree with some stories. If you know my backstory, before like 36, I was busy raising all these kids, and I was active, exercise, went for runs, worked out and stuff, but it was something you just did, right? It was just like, okay, I got to get my 20 minutes of running in order to stay fit. Well, when my fifth was done nursing, I said, God, I'm kind of bored working out. And I picked up a surfboard and I learned how to surf. And it was such a light bulb moment in my life to get in that flow state. I know I had played soccer as a kid, and I get in it a little bit there, but sometimes it was always pressure to score more goals, or you just got caught up so much in the winning aspect, not in the performing sometimes, for me at least. And so when I started surfing, it's not like I was this extreme surfer, but you're so focused on not getting crushed by a wave, or you're so focused on your pop-up. And that's what Gabby's trying to explain. So flow state is about when you can find an activity that engages your mind so much that it's like time stands still. You block out everything else that's going around you. And that is really, really useful for unblocking your sacral chakra. I think back in my life, that was a totally defining moment. That's when our path was going this way and we took a sharp turn to the right and headed a different direction. In addition, Isabel's like dance party thing, because, you know, as a mindfulness coach, she talks about this all the time. Well, last week we were in a campground and it was like 9 at night. She's playing the guitar. I'm like, Victor, let's dance. And we're in a campground. There's people around, and normally he'd be like, oh no, like people are gonna see us. And he actually danced with me, and I'm like, it was amazing how much you just forget that who cares what people think. Like, this is fun, and it was fun. It was great. So I'm just wanting to like say, yes, they are. I know they're young, but they are totally on the right track. They have a lot of wisdom in what they're saying. And my wisdom to add to finish this up is that I think so many people that we love have blocked sacral chakras. And one of the things that we can do ourselves is practice less judgment, because if we practice a little bit less judgment, then we give other people permission to express themselves. Because while we don't want to be held in a box, sometimes inadvertently, we hold other people in a box. And so if we can give people that are around us permission to change, permission to be different, permission to explore without judgment, I think that this could be a transformative way forward in the world towards more peace.
I agree with that so much. Yes, it's so important. If you're really interested in healing your chakras, please make sure you check out our course, Power, Passion, and Productivity, because we take you through a whole 1 week of chakra healing that with recipes, videos, yoga videos, meditations, you name it. It's super fun. We'll link it in the description below, so please check it out. Please leave a comment below as well if this resonates with you, and if you have sacral chakra issues, we'd love to help you out if you have any questions. And stay tuned for our video on solar plexus healing.